Brake vans are an essential part of any goods train. They help keep trucks in order and have powerful brakes to stop runaways. Most brake vans are very helpful, like Toad. But others, as we've seen before, can be just as troublesome as the trucks, maybe even worse. In Vickerstown, there's a little brake van named Bruno. He isn't troublesome in the least, but he is still very different from other brake vans. He knows all the train schedules along the main line and likes to recite them to himself. If anything disrupts the schedule, Bruno becomes extremely worried and uncomfortable. Bruno doesn't like being in the station. It is loud and busy, full of engines coming and going and bustling people running across the platforms. He prefers staying in the yard, where it's quiet and tidy, and everything is right where it belongs. He also likes when Rosie is in the yard. They were old friends who came from the same railway. Rosie looks out for Bruno and likes to see him happy and comfortable.
Hey Bruno, any important trains coming in today?
There are 2 passenger trains from Gordon and Rebecca, and a heavy goods train from Mother coming today. Spencer is also coming to visit Sodor with the Duke and Duchess of Boxford again.
The other engines also ensured that Bruno was in high spirits whenever they saw him.
Another successful express run. So, Bruno, my dear brake van, how did I do today,
You were 4 minutes early, same as you were yesterday, and the day before.
Ha! Perfect as usual. Thank you, Bruno. Where will we be without you,
Well, you're too big for your buffers, that's for sure.
What cheek!
Bruno doesn't always understand certain phrases.
Gordon is a big engine, so isn't he already bigger than his buffers?
It just means that Gordon can be a little too boastful at times.
I suppose. But he's still a hard worker, so maybe we should give him a break?
Bruno also liked to tell jokes. He'd smile at his own joke, and Rosie would giggle too. It's true, there wasn't any other brake van like Bruno on all of Sodor. One morning, Devious Diesel purred into the yard. He looked especially grumpy today.
Morning, Diesel.
Oh, hello, Rosie. How's your fancy new piloting job?
Oh, it's great, but I miss that warm, smiley face of yours. My, don't you look cheerful today?
Oh, I'm just bursting with joy! Charlie was supposed to pick up building supplies for the goods yard near Olmsted, but his valve burst, so I'm the one who has to deliver them. Like I don't have enough work to do!
How did his safety valve burst?
Trust me, he always finds a way. Is the train ready or what?
All set, Your Highness. It just needs a brake van.
That brake vans. Who needs them? I'm built for strength and can stop just as well without a van. Maybe even more so.
Yes, but what Sir Chopper Matt says when he sees you running in the rails without a brake van.
Diesel moaned. Like it or not, he knew Rosie was right. And so he looked around the yard. There were plenty of coaches and trucks, but there were no brake vans to be found. No brake vans, save one.
He looks strong enough. I'll take Bruno.
Bruno? I don't know if that's the best idea, Diesel. Bruno's never seen that part of Sodor before. He can get a little bit nervous around new things. I don't want him going where he doesn't feel safe.
What? You don't think I can be safe?
Rosie didn't have the heart to answer.
On second thought, don't answer that. Anyway, you said I need a brake van, and Bruno's the only one available. So either you trust me with him, or you can be the one to tell Sir Topopat that you let me travel without a brake van.
Now Rosie was irritated. Of course, Diesel would try to get his way. As much as she didn't want to admit it, he had a point. She couldn't let him leave without a brake van. But she was worried about Bruno.
Well, first, we better tell Bruno.
Fine, whatever gets me out of here sooner.
And so, Rosie gently approached Bruno, with Diesel following behind. The little van was reciting the scheduled trains for Vickerstown.
Pipes for Barrel are coming in at 11:30 sharp.
Bruno, Diesel wants you to be his brake van for his delivery on the Ulster branch. Would that be alright with you?
I've never been to Olstead, or any other part of Sodor. It's a big island, and it can be pretty noisy. Is Olstead a noisy branch line?
Vic, please. I've heard mice that are louder than that branch line. Nothing ever happens on it. It'll be fun, Bruno. There's villages, and the castle, and... The castle?
And there's a beautiful lake, nice and calm and peaceful. You can look at the lake if you don't feel well, Bruno.
Bruno pondered. He did like lakes. They always helped him calm down if things got too busy in his head.
Is this an important delivery?
It's important enough that if I don't leave now, I'll be late.
Late? But that means we're behind schedule! Okay, Diesel, I'll help you. Get back on track.
You'll be just fine, Bruno. Solo is full of nice engines. And Diesel will take good care of you. If he knows what's good for him.
Just leave it to me. Don't forget, you're talking to the best shunter on all of Sodor.
Really? I thought Neo was back at the shunting yards.
Diesel just growled as he added Bruno to the train.
Why do I even bother?
Before long, Diesel and Bruno were rolling along the Olstead branch. Bruno was still a little nervous about all the new sights and sounds he passed along the way. Luckily, it wasn't very loud or chaotic, and there were friendly people and engines along the way. When they all said hello to him, Bruno felt a little shy, so he didn't say it back. Diesel just sniffed. Nobody said hi to him, but he didn't care. He just wanted to finish the job so he could go back to his shed. Things were going well, until they had to stop by Toby's village. Harold the helicopter was there dropping off medical supplies for the villagers. He had bad news.
Take care, old chaps. Some rocks on the cliffside were loosened by rain.
If the rocks are loose, they could cause a landslide. Then the tracks will be blocked and we'll fall behind schedule.
Precisely.
But we have an important delivery to make.
It should be safe for now, but any sign of falling rocks, you'll to come straight back.
Vic, we're not scared of a few measly pebbles, are we, Bruno?
But those aren't a few measly pebbles. It's a lot of pebbles! And bigger rocks too. They could knock us off the rails.
Bruno didn't feel so good anymore.
Glad to see one of you talking sense.
Diesel
Whatever.
ignored the two and set off again. Soon, they approached the bridge that lay just before the cliffside. Diesel tried to pick up speed as they ventured across the bridge.
Diesel, we shouldn't go so fast by the cliffs. Harold says it isn't safe.
Bah! That whirly bird overreacts to every little thing. If it's really so dangerous, then the sooner we're past it, the safer we'll be.
But if we go too fast, we'll make the wheels shake, and it'll be loud. We could cause a landslide!
But Diesel wasn't listening. He rounded the bend as fast as he could. He felt very pleased with himself as he noticed the other side coming towards him. Bruno noticed something else. Something small and heavy thumped on his roof. He wasn't hurt, but he was petrified when he noticed what had hit him. It was a rock. Soon, he felt more thumps on his roof as more rocks came tumbling down from above. Bruno began to panic. It was just like Harold said. Then, he knew what to do. He took a deep breath and braked as hard as he could. The noise echoed everywhere, and the train started to slow down. Diesel was fuming. He tugged and pulled as hard as he could.
Huh? What the? What are you doing? We're almost through!
We are taking a break!
Diesel had no choice but to stop. But it wasn't until he had ground to a halt that one rock fell, then another, and another! Luckily, no one was hurt, but the line in front and behind them was blocked.
Just peachy! Now we're stuck!
And they were. Diesel was so cross, he didn't even know what to scream first.
How could Bruno be so stupid? Why didn't I just go without a brake van? Rosie's gonna get an earful from me if we ever get out of here!
But all those thoughts suddenly vanished when Diesel finally listened. He heard what sounded like panicked breathing. It was Bruno. So much had happened at once. He and Diesel nearly get flattened by falling rocks. His brakes were unbearably loud, and now he was trapped in a strange new place he had never been before. And he and Diesel would be late. The schedule was completely off track. Poor Bruno couldn't stand it. He was so distressed he couldn't breathe. Diesel was surprised. He had never seen this kind of reaction before, especially from a brake van.
Bruno? Are you okay?
Poor Bruno was in such a state that he couldn't answer. His frames shook and squirmed as he tried to calm down. But it was no use. His brain was running the world's longest marathon. Everything had gone wrong, and he wanted it all to stop. Now Diesel was worried. Seeing Bruno acting like this was making him uneasy. He actually wanted to help, but he didn't know how, and there wasn't anyone around who could. Or so he thought.
Harvey?
Indeed, coming from the other way was Harvey the crane engine. He was working nearby and came to help.
Fluttering cranes! Are you two alright?
We've been better. Bruno's cracking up and I don't know how to make him stop.
Oh dear, Rosie told me about this. Poor lad. He needs something calm and relaxing to help him focus. Try having him look at something peaceful.
Peaceful? What could possibly be peaceful about this?
Maybe if you stopped grumbling, you'd find something.
Diesel groaned and looked around. What could calm Bruno down? The stones that nearly fell on them? No. The trucks for their delivery? No, that would remind him that they're running late. Himself? Definitely not. Rosie would probably know what's best for Bruno. and... Wait! Rosie! Diesel suddenly remembered something Rosie mentioned earlier. Now he knew what he had to do.
Bruno, look! There's the lake Rosie mentioned, remember?
At last, Bruno heard Diesel and he looked towards the lake. Suddenly, everything seemed clearer. The water was so calm and still, the sun glistened over the waves, and the gulls flew cheerfully overhead. Suddenly, Bruno could breathe again. He took deep, steady breaths, and soon, his head didn't feel so loud anymore.
That's better.
Are you okay, Bruno?
I think so. I'm still sad about the delivery. They're waiting for us at Olstead, and we're not on time.
Harvey smiled as he readied his crane arm.
Oh, that's no problem. I'll clear these rocks away for you. Just sit tight and take a wee break.
I can't take a break, Harvey. I'm already a break fan.
I'm surrounded by comedians. At least they're better jokers than Charlie ever.
Soon Harvey set to work clearing the rocks. It wasn't very fast, but he was definitely making progress. All the while, a question bubbled in Diesel's oil tank.
Bruno? What happened back there?
The rocks fell. There was so much noise and vibrating that...
No. I mean, after that. You started breathing funny, and you were squirming and shaking. It was kinda scary.
I can't explain it. Sometimes if things get too crazy or too loud, or if something's not going right, I get very nervous and everything gets blurry. I like things calm and orderly, not loud and chaotic. I like when things are right on schedule, not running late. But maybe we could have made it through if I didn't stop us.
Actually, you did the right thing, Bruno. Any further and it could have been much worse for the both of ye. Wait, didn't someone warn you that the cliffs weren't safe?
Harold might have said something, but I thought we could outrun the rocks, so...
Diesel didn't have the nerve to finish.
Yeah.
Harvey said nothing, but his unimpressed face did all the talking as he went back to work. In no time, the line was clear again, and Harvey helped Diesel and Bruno to the yard. They followed on slowly and carefully. Diesel was unusually quiet the whole way, too embarrassed to utter a word. Soon enough, the three of them pulled into the goods yard. Sir Topham Hatt was there waiting for them. He looked sternly at Diesel.
Well, Diesel, what's this I hear about you thinking you could outrun fallen rocks?
Diesel sighed, trying to think of an excuse. But nothing came out. Then Bruno spoke up.
Diesel just wanted us to make it on schedule, sir. He thought you would be cross if we were late.
I appreciate the thought, Bruno, but safety is more important than a schedule. If someone tells you to be careful, you would do well not to change through an unsafe area like a steamroller.
But Diesel isn't a steamroller, sir. He's a shunter. His job is to shunt and carry trucks, not crush rocks.
Sir Topham Hatt cleared his throat in amusement.
What I mean, Bruno, is that Diesel should have been more careful around the cliffs, as Harold suggested.
Yes, sir.
If it helps, sir, Diesel did calm down Bruno when he was panicking.
Oh, did he now?
Yes, he did. My head got loud and busy. Everything got blurry, and all I could think about was how we were off schedule. But then Diesel told me to look at the lake, and I felt better.
For once, Diesel felt too modest.
Well, Harvey gave me the idea, and Rosie said Bruno would like the lake. Other than that, I didn't know what to do. I don't know a lot of brake fans like Bruno.
That's quite alright, Diesel. It's hard to know what to do in these types of situations. When it comes to someone like Bruno, the best thing you can do is to be patient and understanding.
I'm barely ever either of those, sir.
Well, you were when Bruno needed you to be, and that's all that matters. And from the sounds of it, Bruno was there for you when you needed him the most.
Hey, Bruno. You're a hero.
I am?
Yeah, you kinda are, Bruno. I wish more brake vans, or trucks, were like you.
Yeah. There's not enough of me to go around.
At that, Diesel had to laugh, and everyone else joined in. Since that day, Diesel and Bruno are now firm friends. Diesel can still be devious, but he always makes sure to leave Bruno out of his tricks. He even asks Bruno to be his brake van whenever he can. With Bruno, as a reward for all his hard work, his guard and some of the workmen fashioned him a set of earmuffs made of recycled machine parts. If ever Bruno needs some quiet time, he asks his guard to fit them across his frames, and they drown out the chaotic sounds of the outside well. Rosie let him test them out the first day he got them, while she had a long talk with Diesel. A long, loud, and very angry talk.
I don't understand why you would
Diesel wished he had those earmuffs now, because unlike Bruno, he heard Rosie loud and clear.
Oh, grease and oil.
You really wish you had those earmuffs, didn't you? Well,